What's going on, everyone? This is Terrence again with the 1010 Studios series for a course with a TouchMix 30 Pro by QSC. Thanks for joining us once again. We're going over the actual mixer setup, and at this point we went through everything from the mixer setup button all the way through MIDI, all the way through the channel safes, and now we're going to talk about the screen mode, and then we'll get to the other sections above here in just a few. Now the screen mode basically is either you have a simple mode and then you have a advanced mode. So let's just look at the simple mode for a quick moment here, and let's go to one of our channels. Let's start with channel 1 to be very basic here. And so you see that you got your compressor, you got your gate, but you really don't see much of anything. Okay, so let's go back to the mixers, the menu, set it to advanced. Let's see what kind of changes. Now you see that you got settings and what the values are in the settings. So that's one way that you'll see a difference between simple and advanced. So we'll go back to the simple and we'll go a little bit deeper. Let's go to EQ. So the EQ, you have it where you only can change the value or the volume input of that by lowering the dB or increasing it. You can't change the frequency it's affecting, but you can only change the volume or the gain of that particular EQ setting. Same thing with the others that you see here, no changes. So let's go to advanced. Let's go back to channel 1, EQ. Now you have several options across the board. You got the actual low cut frequency, the low frequency, the high, the low mid, high mid, and the high cut. You have all those options, and also the Q, so you can affect how narrow or how wide that change is. So that can affect a very narrow frequency range or a wider frequency range. On the simple mode, all that you had was the volume. Can't affect the frequency, only the actual value. And in this case, you can't even affect the how much of a low cut you have. So it's either low cut or no low cut. Preset frequency range. Now with other options here, similar to that, you just got one button, on and how much compression, or where the compression starts rather. You don't have how much, you don't have any attack or release, it's just simple. Now if you hit simple here, it'll take you out of the simple mode. You don't have to go back to the menu, and you'll see the options that are available. You got your attack, you have your release, de-esser, if you want that in or not, if it's a vocal. You can have it set to sidechain to itself. You can have a little bit of a gain increase, or just flat 0 to not increase it anymore, and you have your ratio. Then of course it's presets, but if you go simple, you just got one button. Big difference. On the gate, very similar. You got a one knob option other than your on and off. Take it out of simple, you have your threshold, your attack again, your hold, and your attenuation. If you go simple, wherever it was at, that's what you got. Your effects, you can have it put in or out, and effects would be another course of course, no pun intended. But to put it into the effects or not, just simply gain it up in there or gain it down. If you take it out of simple, you have a little bit more options. So you have a milliseconds for the offset, for the delay. Then you have a regen percentage, and you have it where it's post or pre. Put it in simple, you just got a volume. nothing else. Aux is pretty straightforward. It's either whether you have it in or out. I mean, there's really nothing special there. So if this is your wedge, you can throw it in there. You can do a pre-fader. You can do it pre-all, pre-dynamics, pre-fader, post EQ and gain, or dynamic, excuse me, and then you can do a post-fader. So choose as you need to. It's really nothing. You can't do a simple or advanced on this. It's just how much or where you want to have it picked off at, and some other settings as well. So when it comes to the simple or the advanced, choose as you need to. I would say leave it on advanced, and if it looks to be a little bit too complicated for you, play around with it. Don't be afraid. Practice at home, practice when you can, and practice in a live environment. But just be very mindful of what you're doing. Just make minor or subtle adjustments to see where or how it affects the overall mix.